Ann, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, now I hear you. Okay, good. Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time. I know it's a busy day for you. What is the latest? What are you working on right now?
Well, I'm working on a story on the neighborhood and the reactions right now, but there's been some information released slowly over the course of the day. There were 3 victims total. They've released the first 2 names. One was an 8-year-old boy, and then another was a 29-year-old woman from the suburb of Arlington, Massachusetts.
Yeah, and the 8-year-old boy, there are pictures of him we put up already of him adorable, and last year, ironically, holding up a sign saying peace with 2 hearts on it and stop killing. Just terribly ironic. And the woman, I heard a story that she was with a friend. The father of the victim was told that she who was in surgery for a leg injury, and that when the father came to the hospital, he found that it was the friend who was in surgery and that his daughter had died.
I haven't heard that story myself, but there have been a number of very confusing and very sad stories related to this whole event.
Absolutely, and conflicting information. Yesterday we heard that there were several other bombs that had in fact at least one been defused by the police. Today we heard that there were just the 2 devices that exploded, nothing else. Then we have the conflicting information even up to right now of the Saudi student or 20-year-old who was in the hospital, described by some as a person of interest, and now many sources are saying he is not, he isn't any longer at all. Yet Congressman Peter King told me about an hour ago, after those reports surfaced, that he would not rule that man out and he would not rule Al-Qaeda out. So the conflicting information seems to still be forthcoming.
That's true. That's true. It's not, in some ways, it's not helped by Twitter and all the other social media sites where people are passing information, but in some ways those sites are great for distributing correct information. There will be a press conference in about half an hour here in Boston, and I'm sure officials are going to clear up a number of those things.
When that blast went off yesterday and you were down there, what were you thinking?
Well, at first I was very confused. I had actually been standing exactly where the first bomb went off, right by the finish line, with a colleague and a friend, and we decided to leave to go get hot dogs, believe it or not, and we walked away. And we were standing on a street corner on Newbury Street, which is parallel to Boylston, where the bombs were placed. We heard an incredibly loud noise, the kind of noise that I could feel it in my chest. It made me feel like the ground was shaking for a fraction of a second. And my colleague, Edgar, decided to go investigate. He thought maybe the grandstands had fallen. But we heard people screaming and we saw smoke. And as he rounded the corner, he immediately came right back, and there was this wave of people behind him running, and then we heard the second explosion.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely terrifying because I knew the first sound was not good. At first I thought maybe it's a natural gas line. We didn't think there'd be celebratory fireworks because they never do that with the marathon.
Right. Well, thank God you're okay, and you moved from that location. And Ann, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Sure, thank you.
Take care. Anne Mostue, a reporter for WGBH-TV in Boston. When we come back, Andy McCarthy, director of the Center for Law and Counterterrorism, will join us right here on the Steve Malzberg Show.